In a recent interview with IFL TV, and Roy Jones has been doing a lot of interviews lately. In fact, he's been seen training Chris Eubank Jr., which is quite interesting. And maybe I'll make a separate video about that. But in a recent interview on IFL TV, he said that he thinks Anthony Joshua will give Tyson Fury a much tougher fight than Deontay Wilder did. So I'm going to quote Superman Roy Jones directly. He said, "It's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a tougher fight for him than Wilder was because Joshua has more weaponry in terms of what he can bring to the table. He's already brought a few plans to the table, so it will be tough," unquote. So yeah, I agree with Roy Jones Jr. AJ can do more things than Wilder. See, we veteran boxing fans will use terms like styles make fights until we're blue in the face. But the vast majority of boxing fans still don't get it. They still see boxing as this linear situation where if fighter A beats fighter B and fighter B beats fighter C, then fighter C can't come and beat fighter A. No way. No, it doesn't work like that. Well, actually, it often does work like that. Boxing is not linear. It's chess. It's not checkers. It's rock, paper, scissors. And when you look at Anthony Joshua's style, see, again, the Fury fans are saying that and even Fury's own brother Shane is saying that the AJ fight is an easier fight for him than the Wilder fight. I completely disagree. Maybe I'll be proved wrong again by the Gypsy King. But I don't know. I just don't see it. I think that Anthony Joshua has more in his arsenal, as Roy Jones Jr. said. He's got more in his arsenal for Fury to contend with. It's not just the right hand, and as soon as you see AJ cocking the right hand, you step back. No, AJ's got a very good left hook. He's got a very good uppercut. He's got a very good right hand. He's got much better balance than Deontay Wilder, moves around better, keeps his range better. Like, from a technical point of view, AJ's way better than Wilder. So, and he's sharper on the counter as well. Wilder's got a counter right hand. But his counter right hand is not that prolific. He likes to lead off. He does counter with the right hand as well. Likes to catch you coming in, getting over ambitious. But AJ will punch over your jab consistently. He'll throw a right hand over your jab. Look at even the first Andy Ruiz fight in the first 2 rounds. How many times he was hitting Andy Ruiz over the top of his jab with a right hand. He was literally there waiting. Okay, Ruiz throws the jab, bang. AJ was over the top with the right. He did that constantly in the first 2 rounds against Ruiz. And he also leads off with left hooks very well. Anthony Joshua, he's got a really underrated left hook. He can lead off with it or he can throw it as a pull counter. And these are technical things which Tyson Fury is going to have to be mindful of if and when he fights AJ. And I do think it's going to be a far more complicated puzzle for Tyson Fury to solve than the Deontay Wilder fight was. Now, Tyson Fury is very tenacious. We all know that. A fearless kind of guy. And that will obviously serve him well against Anthony Joshua. But sometimes fearlessness can work against you. Sometimes you actually need to have a bit more respect and a bit more caution than you thought going into the fight. So I suspect that'll be the case if Tyson Fury fights AJ. Tyson Fury will go in there thinking, yeah, I'm going to manhandle this blown up bodybuilder, this guy with no chin and no heart who gets knocked around by little fat men. He's going to have all the people in his team gassing him up, telling him it's easy. And personally, I think that's going to backfire on Fury to some degree. It doesn't mean it will backfire enough for AJ to win the fight, necessarily. But I do think it's going to turn out to be a much tougher fight for Fury than the Wilder fight was. And it will be much tougher than anybody in Fury's camp realizes. I think the only person who would have been realistic, at least publicly, maybe it's the Fury team playing mind games. Some people have suggested that, that they secretly, privately think that AJ is a real tough fight, but they don't want to let the public, in on that. But the only person who I think would have been sensible and realized that the AJ fight is actually genuinely tough is Peter Fury. Because Peter Fury never really got caught up in all the propaganda. He never really got caught up in all the prideful stuff where if you don't pick Tyson Fury to win, we hate you and all. He never got caught up in that. Peter Fury was a much more sensible head, a much more cool head. But obviously he's no longer part of Tyson Fury's career. So yeah, the other guys in there, John Fury, and John Fury obviously needs a lot of credit for the tactics of, Tyson Fury pushing Deontay Wilder back in the rematch, or John Fury clearly knows his stuff, but, everybody makes mistakes. You could be the best trainer in the world. You're still going to make mistakes. You're still going to get it tactically wrong sometimes. You're still going to underestimate somebody. Happens to there's no trainer out there and there's no fighter out there who has never underestimated somebody. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Just my musings on what Roy Jones Jr. said about AJ giving Fury more trouble than Wilder did. Let me know what you think, people. It's happening. I'm out.